Welcome to a brand new episode of Against All Odds. I'm your host, Yris Palmer, and on this podcast, we really try to highlight the stories of people who have had the odds stacked against them and some way, somehow have successfully and fearlessly overcame them. For today's story, we have one of my good friends, Chanel Thierry, and boy, have your cards been stacked against you.
Haven't they?
You've done such a good job
Thank
overcoming.
you. I mean, you've had a front row seat.
I have. I think the world has.
Yeah, the world has.
But
yes,
they don't
you
really
the
know.
ins and outs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I like to start every episode with a little icebreaker with your zodiac sign. And you know, I love a zodiac sign.
Yes.
So you're a Sag.
I am a
Big
Sag.
Sag energy.
Yes.
I love Sag. So I feel like some of your traits are so funny. You're like the life of the party. You're very adventurous. Yeah. You have like a love and hate relationship with a lot of things. Do you feel like those are true? Like some of those traits?
I do. It's actually really good to hear like from your my close friend's point of view of how like you view me. But okay, yeah.
Yeah, you're like
you're
always
very spot on.
You're always making me laugh. You're a good time. And I feel like you have like this curiosity with like adventure.
Yeah.
So like you are always down for an adventure.
Oh man, I do it for the plot every time.
Every time, sis. Every time.
Every time.
And I'm a Taurus. And I feel like Sag and Tauruses are like a good mix.
We are so good.
Right?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Cody's a Taurus. And he is my Velcro child. Like we just get each other. And I think that our bluntness and honesty is like what we bond over. Like me and you are so brutally honest to each other too, and like about other things. So I think like that's what like makes a zing.
And a good friendship. I feel like we are very honest, like when we need to be, and in like those awkward conversations, like we're always gonna keep it real with each other.
Always.
And I think like that's so needed in a friendship. Like we don't tiptoe. I'll be like, no, Chanel, that's not right. Like don't do that again, bro.
We have to like, I think
we have to
should.
do better. Yeah. Lay low.
Yeah, you're like, no, I just don't think that's the route.
Yeah. So let's give people like a little BTS of like our friendship and how we met. Do you remember the first time we met?
I can't forget it.
Okay.
Oh,
we hopped a fence.
We did. Yes. You couldn't get into
So you booked me to do your lashes.
Okay, so I actually had a whole different lash artist, and she was out of town.
But I was like popping at the time. I was, if you went to Star Lash, you were that girl, and I was that lash tech, okay? Yeah. So she booked the best.
Yes. And we got there, and it was like a late night. It was like 7 p.m. It was dark, and we couldn't get into Seb's Melrose location. Yeah. And you didn't have the key, or the gate was always I don't open. Have the key. It was like something crazy. So shout out to Seb, because like if it wasn't for that, I think honestly I would have got my lashes done, and it just would have been like a high and buy situation. But like the gate was locked, and Iris was like, I don't know what to do. And then I was like, in real LA style, I was like, I can hop the gate.
Well, we're both from LA. So it's like, you trying to hop the gate? I'm like, we can hop the gate.
She was down. I thought she was going to say like,
no.
Oh, no, like our property and like, like management is going to come. Like, I really thought she was going to get like really anal on me for a second. Like,
I'm like, you trying to hop the gate?
Yeah,
Let's
she was
do
like,
it.
I mean, if you're down to hop the gate. And I was like, girl, I need these lashes done. Like, I am so down. I left my baby at home. I got to go get these lashes done. So I hopped the gate, and then like.
We got in.
Yeah. And we got in. And then after that, it was like, we clicked. Like,
we clicked. And we had a lot of mutual people too that we knew and stuff. But yeah, that was our first interaction.
And we never stopped hanging out after that.
Yeah. And you were so funny. And this is like before I even had Ayla. This was so you have literally, I feel like we have been in each other's lives through a lot of chapters.
Yeah. 11 years.
11
Connor
years.
was like 5 months.
That's a decade of a friendship. So that's solid.
Yeah.
And I think... Yeah, like I'm so excited to like tell your story. I know you haven't done an interview or a podcast, right? Have you ever done a podcast?
I had no interview, no podcast.
Yeah, so I'm really excited. So let's take it back, since we just said you were born and raised in LA. Let's take it back to like how little Chanel was. Like, where did you grow up? A little bit about your mom, your dad, like your childhood.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm from LA, born and raised, in which I completely love our culture. It's amazing. I grew up on the east side on 124th, which is like South Central Compton area. Mm-hmm. I was there from a child all the way up until I was about 7, and my mom remarried. And so we moved to like another area, Vernon and Central, in which I will give this disclaimer. My mom was not happy. She was like, she let me know, like, we are not staying here for long. Mm-hmm. She was like, this is just for right now. We're going to buy a house. And she actually kept that promise. Mm-hmm. And so by the time I was 15, we moved to Inglewood. She bought a home in a newly developed neighborhood.
Deborah does not play. Let me tell you guys
does not play.
She does not play. She reminds me a lot of me. I feel like I should have been Deborah's daughter. And you should have been my mom's daughter.
Yeah, no, seriously.
My mom's such a true Sag, by the way, too.
Yeah. No, she just, you know what? My mom puts her mind to something and she does it. Mm-hmm. And she just always kind of like makes a way out of something. They were actually raffling out those homes. So like it was a miracle we even got them. Like we went every single Saturday and I sat with her. I watched the disappointment on her face when they didn't call our name, mm-hmm. like for the raffle. We qualified for the house and everything, but it was just such a good development that so many people were putting in like offers on the homes and they just decided to raffle them off. Mm-hmm. And finally our name got called. And she ran up there like she won the lottery. And she was like, come on. So we moved to Inglewood and it has been amazing, honestly. Mm-hmm. I went to St. Mary's Academy, which is an all-girls school in Inglewood. It's an all-girls high school. I wasn't there for long. Temper.
Fighting?
Yes, okay. I did. I was not hitting first. I was being defensive. But yes, and obviously in a, strict school, that is not allowed. Mm-hmm. So little old me, who had never been to public school ever in their life, had to then be put into public school. Mm-hmm. And that was crazy. Like I felt
What public school did you go to?
Inglewood High School. Mm. So I felt like a fish out of water. Like mm-hmm. I felt like a goldfish that had been in this tank. Mm-hmm. And then I was like thrown into the ocean mm-hmm. and there were sharks. Mm-hmm. Like there were like sharks. And it was
swim.
Like, yeah, fast. It was like sink or swim. You had to learn my first day at Inglewood. I was in like my 3rd period and they turned the lights off and started throwing the books.
Oh my God.
I was like,
I went to Fairfax High School. We didn't have
literally
all that.
Clutched my pearls for a second. Like I was like, oh my God. I was coming from this Catholic high school. Like I'm like, you guys are going to jail.
Yeah.
You're like, what is this? Then when I realized like absolutely nothing really happened, but security told us to come sit down and be quiet. I was like, okay, so this is what it's like. Okay, got it. So, yeah.
And then let's fast forward to like high school a little bit. So like, what did you want to be? What were your like dreams?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so in high school, honestly, I think all the way as a child, I really wanted to be a veterinarian. Okay. I love animals.
Yeah, you do.
I love them. And I honestly feel like I can like connect with the animal mm-hmm. oddly, like mm-hmm. Dr. Dolittle. Like, I don't know, I just mm-hmm. really do. And I gave that dream up until they told me I had to work on snakes. So whoever that was, because I found out that you can be actually a specialty veterinarian where you don't have to do that. So whoever ruined my dreams, you're out there. That was crazy. Because after you told me about the snakes, I was like, I'm out. I'm done. Checked out. And then just moving forward, I have always just kind of been like, go with the flow type of person.
You are like, very go with the flow.
To know with me, I think Lauren London said it the best, and she's a Sag too. Like I
flow
with the river. I don't fight with the rocks.
That is very much you.
Yeah. So it's just like, I kind of just go with the wind and kind of go with the way of things. So honestly, I had so many different things that I wanted to do. I wanted to become a nurse like my mom. Mm-hmm. And I watched her do it, and I watched her like bust her butt for like hospitals, working these night shifts, working all of this, always like just barely making it on time for like my school things because she was just working so mm-hmm. hard that I think I had registered that for myself. Like, I want a softer life for me. Mm-hmm. Like I want to be.
Well, I was going to bring that up. So I feel like me and you were very different in the sense of I'm very much like your mom, like so career driven, like I don't stop. Like I love being alone, like all of those things. And I feel like you were totally opposite. You're like my mom. My mom didn't work. So I saw that and I was like, oh, I just feel like she's so powerless or doesn't have this or doesn't have that. And you saw your mom work so hard and hustle and you were like, I don't want that. I want a softer life, you know? So I feel like we had two different experiences. Yeah. And even when I would tell you like, do you want to do this? Do you want to do this business? You're like, no, I don't want to, you know? And I'm like, why? Why don't you want to, you know? But it's like everybody's wants are so different and everybody's needs are so different. Yeah. And it's so funny how like our upbringing really had a lot to do with our wants and our needs now as an adult, you know?
Yeah, I know.
Which transitions me into like our young adult life. And I feel like me and you had a similar young adult life. Like we were in long-term relationships. We got married. We went through a divorce. Yours was very public. Mine's was not. But I feel like first of all, it's so hard when you enter something at such a young age because I feel like you don't really know who you are. When is it the right time to leave a relationship?
Yeah. I think for me, because I was so young, I was so like based in like family and, you know, like that's kind of how I was groomed. I was 19 starting it. So, you know, and there's no handbook. You just kind of go with the way things progress. And life was progressing really, really fast. Like from 20 to 21, I mean, life had just kind of became a 360, like totally different. And when you're so in that and you're starting to put all of yourself in that, you just also have to remember to save just a tiny like 10% for you. So because when you do save that 10% for you, that's when you know things no longer serve you or, you know when, you know, something may not be right here and I need to step back and reevaluate the situation.
Right.
So I think that having that 10% for myself really kind of helped. I think kind of everybody thinks when you get into those type of things, you just give your all.
Oh, I feel like most women do.
Yeah.
Most women do all. Because I feel like women are way more less selfish than men. Yeah. And I feel like sometimes we see it all the time. Like people pour so much of them into a man that that the woman loses her identity. She doesn't really, even with kids, like you can lose your identity so fast with kids because you're just like, the kids only matter, this only matters, and I'm last. And I feel like prioritizing you is so important for your well-being, for your mind. Like, and I feel like it's not talked about enough.
I definitely think carving out that time, like I had a really strict rule, and it's still strict. All my kids go to bed at 8. I do not play. After 8 p.m. is my time, and I am very stingy about my time. So, you know, it's kind of like, and that was when I was in a relationship, and even when I'm out of a relationship, it's still 8 p.m. because that 10% is mine. Facts. So I need my 10%. I want all of them in the bed by 8 because I want to watch my adult shows. If I want to cook me a dessert and not share with the kids, because I know we all do that, I have that opportunity.
It's boundaries. Yeah. It's creating healthy boundaries. It really is. And every aspect of your life is so important. Because if not, especially when you work for yourself,
it'll be haywire.
All the time where it's like, where is the boundary? You know what I mean? You have had a lot of, I feel like, odds stacked against you, as in starting over in your 30s now, right?
Yes.
Which
is scary.
Okay, number one, scary. Yeah. But what is life for you been now? Like rediscovering who you are, or like life alone? You know, like what has that transition been like for you?
I mean, life has obviously been so different. I had never lived alone. I think that was one thing that was like huge.
And I said to you, you're going to love to live alone.
She told me I was going to love to live alone. And obviously I hated it at first.
She hated it.
I hated it. I was so like codependent to the children. I would honestly give it to them. You know, like I had Kylan at 19, and from 19 until 30, he has never left my side. Yeah. Like I had to take him to school. I had to take him. That was really hard to honestly kind of get out of that role of like not having a kid around 24/7. That was so difficult.
Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people don't know either that you really didn't have a nanny or anybody until your third baby.
Yeah, no, I didn't. So I was so connected to my children. Like Iris said, I was a stay-at-home mom, and I loved it. I was cooking, I was baking, I was playing with the kids. We're going to the Topanga Mall. Like, I was a full-blown stay-at-home mom, and I really, truly enjoyed it. And I honestly think, like, because when you had said, like, working so hard, I was being pushed, like, to get a brand, to do this, to do that.
I would be like, what? Come on, you have to have a business. Like, what do you want to invest in? What do you want to, like, what do you want to do? Like, and she'd be like, nothing. Like, and then
I just like what I do. I like being at home. I like cooking. I like doing this.
She thoroughly enjoyed that role.
But here's the thing is that when I stop back and I, like, look at it, because I was like, what, 25? Mm-hmm. I was so young. We were so young talking about those things. Mm-hmm. There was a career in that. Martha Stewart made a whole lane for us. Mm-hmm. I just didn't even think those opportunities existed for me. There was really, honestly, no Black woman that was really cooking, doing cookware, doing this, doing that. I didn't even know that there was a whole lane. Like, that was a brand. Yeah. I just hadn't realized it. So what did I do? I listened to everybody, and I started a business that failed. Like, that
a lot of people don't know about. Like, tell them about.
I started a whole hair, like, an extension business, and I had these huge hopes. I spent thousands of dollars on bulks of hair. I advertised it. I had a whole photo shoot. I mean, when I tell you guys, I thought that this was going to be like $1 million business. I'm actually,
but you know what? It's okay.
I'm actually embarrassed because I set the computer up, you guys. And somebody had sat there and watched me get not 0 sales that day. I got 0. Not one sale that day. And I was, like, so disappointed. I was so sad. And I had closed my laptop and I was like, all these empty promises. Everybody's making to buy and nobody's buying, which is, like, every entrepreneur will tell you that is the name of the game. Girl.
100%.
Do not ever order inventory or just anything based on your consumers saying they're going to buy.
But I also think there's, like, such a big lesson in that is, like, that wasn't your passion. That wasn't your dream.
You were
just doing it to do it.
Yeah, that's why it failed.
When you did find your passion and what you really wanted to do, your business was so successful. So let's
off.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
With a brand that actually really kind of reflected me being at home. It was pajamas. I'm a homebody. I love pajamas. I love being at home. I love cooking. And I decided to come up with a pajama line. And when I tell you that bad boy took off during quarantine,
and I was so proud of you.
And I found so much passion in designing cute pajamas, getting my creativity out on the photo shoots.
Mm-hmm. And they were bomb.
Oh my God.
I did one of the photo shoots with you.
Yes. I just, like, I don't think people really know how creative I am and how much of a creative outlet I have to have. My nails are always a design. Mm-hmm. Like, I have to have something, like,
and they're always jewelry.
Fun. I'm such a creative person. I have always got to have that outlet or I feel so confined.
Yeah.
Even getting dressed.
Yeah.
Like, I find my creativity in that, just simple things of that. And I loved it. I loved sleepover. And I was like, oh my gosh, this can be a brand. And that's when I was like, cookware, cooking, makings of Chanel Dijon, YouTube. Like, I just then kind of hit the ground running.
And you were so good you were so disciplined. You would wake up so early, get your workout in, be on your little stair, the bike, the Peloton. Yeah. And then you would go do your orders. Like, you were so disciplined.
Orders,
I was like,
film. Like, I was so, everything is just,
and you were making so much money with it.
But see, that was my mom's work ethic too. Like,
I knew you had it in you.
Kicked into me. Yeah. Like, once I found what I wanted, it was like feet hit the ground running. Like, I was so focused, so disciplined.
Do you remember what I told you?
Oh, girl. I'll never forget.
What?
Once you start making money, you will always make money. Yes. Iris had told me that little T is she never lied. Yeah. Like, once you touch the bread, you're going to always touch the bread.
Yeah.
You know, like, and that was definitely a gem that you dropped. And I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. And I loved it until I actually had to stop.
Because life happened.
Yeah, life happened and I needed to stop and cater to me. Yep. And that was when that, once again, 10% snuck in. You know, because although I wanted to dive so deeply into work, I wanted to do, you know, just honestly, I don't think people kind of know, like, I can become very detached. There's a whole different side of me. I'm so loving, so fun, so, you know, outgoing, but I can really become detached and cold. And I think that there was something in me that really wanted to become so detached and just kind of ignore the emotions and everything that I was going through, because everything was so loud for me at that moment. And I just kind of really wanted to block everything out. But I found strength in pausing and sitting with myself, which was so hard. I see so many people can't do that. You know, like when they come out of long-term relationships, like so many people struggle because they have that codependency of just like sitting down and healing, like no distractions. And it was hard. It was so hard facing like being by myself, learning who I was, learning what I liked. You guys, when I first moved into my house, this is a vulnerable moment I will share. When I first moved into my house, look, you eating it up. She's like, share. I told you this. When I first moved into my house, I took the smaller side of the sink. I had got this. First of all, I went and got this grand home that was like for a family of 6. Yeah, Iris. Like, I mean, the island was like wall to wall. Yeah. Like, it was such a superior kitchen island. Like, the home was beautiful, but it was definitely for a full family. And I didn't really know, like, obviously that wasn't what we were. You know, like I was becoming halftime. You know, they were going to be with me only halftime. So I really didn't need all of that space. But when I moved in, I had all this space. Big closet, big bathroom. And I took the smaller sink subconsciously. And I left the bigger side for who? Who was going to be in there?
Yeah, it was like reality. You weren't like, living in like your current reality yet.
Yeah, no. Yeah. So I had to adjust to all of that, but I found power in that. Like, I'm like, oh, I could spread all my things out. I have a makeup side. I have a hair side. I have it was so empowering also too. Like, I found so much power in it. Like, of course, once you recognize things, you stop, you heal, you recognize it, you acknowledge it.
Yeah, but I think that's so important because a lot of people just go, and they don't allow themselves to heal. Yes. I even told you one time, like, disconnect from the internet, like just like heal and like regain your you back, get to know what Chanel likes, you know. And it was crazy because like I feel like you didn't really live out your 20s like most young people will party, they'll go out, that you didn't do none of that like in your 20s. But they were
great. I had experiences that other people would dream of.
For sure.
You know, I had like a different version.
Yeah, you did.
But I did live backwards.
That's how I feel too. I feel like all my friends were in college. I didn't live the college. Like I was doing stuff that like by the time I was 21, it's like I don't want to go to the clubs. I've been there, done that type of thing, you know? So yeah, you did do life kind of reverse to like what society says. You know what I mean?
Like I had never, that was my first time being single at 30 in almost 11 years. Yeah. So it was so new. I mean, I'm like, oh my gosh. This is new. Dating is new. You know, dating with kids. Now dating as a mother. You know, it's like different. That was so different. Yeah. You know, I mean, just everything. Working, figuring out what I wanted to do, looking at my schedule now and seeing like, okay, I have only this amount of time. I have this week with the kids. I always try, when I have my children, I always try to spend as much time with them as I can before they obviously go to the next house. Right. So I love to be present. Like I love to be in the moment. I love to do things. I love to pick my kids up every day from school. I love to drop them off every day from school. Like I love those things. Those are special moments for me.
So now you've took time off, you've healed. Where is sleepover at right now? I mean, I know where sleepover is at right now, but like you tell the people where sleepover is at.
So sleepover is currently, I am in the middle of rebranding.
It's getting a facelift.
Yes, it is. It is getting a facelift, new colors, new designs. I'm so excited to show you guys what I have. I'm also working on another business, Vintage Icon. Obviously, Iris knows all about that.
Yeah, so Chanel be like sourcing. We love vintage shopping, first of all. And she stays sending me looks or like, so you need this Mugler set or this vintage. Wouldn't this be so bomb? So she sources a lot of vintage stuff for me and for her new business. But that's so exciting.
Yes, I love that. I mean, honestly, I'm obviously always still so into sleepover, but I'm just like, Vintage Icon is like a new little baby.
I love the name.
I know, right? I'm like, I'm so obsessed, and I have all these ideas and creativities that I'm just like, I cannot wait to share with you guys when it's ready.
And so now you're going on to 2 businesses. You also bought your house.
I bought a home. I did. So I bought a home with a swimming pool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I did not want the pool. I told her, I was like, I don't want a pool.
I'm like, who doesn't want a pool? All I dreamed about growing up was having a house with a pool for my kids. So for me, that was like the biggest thing. I'm like, I need a pool. So when you were looking for houses, you're like, I don't care for a pool. I'm like, what? I'm like, we live in LA. It's so hot.
But see, that's the thing was like, I didn't want the pool because I already knew the maintenance and the things that can happen with the pool that I was like, oh no, not on my dime.
And I did tell you,
I
did tell you, I'm like, houses are a money pit. You have to be ready because something will always come up.
Wrong,
And I honestly think that people are so pressured to live that American dream where they're like, I need to buy a house. And I always say, like, if you do not have savings, and I'm not talking about just like your house deposit, you do not need to throw yourself into such a big responsibility because then you're like drowning, swimming, and you're like, so like stress and thinking about this idea.
They call it house broke.
Yeah. And
in LA, we call it house broke.
And you're thinking about this idea, like if I don't do this, I'm not successful. Or if I don't do and it's like that idea, we got to throw it out. Buy a house when you're ready, when you have savings, when you're not living paycheck to paycheck. Yeah. So anyways, I want to talk a little bit because I'm always talking about the importance of having your own as a woman, especially us with daughters and teaching them that, you know. Now, do you feel like that is important?
Oh my God. I really honestly wish, which is so crazy. It's like when you said now, do you feel like that's important? It was like, because 22-year-old Chanel would have looked at Iris and like, no, no, you don't need that. Like, this is not the situation. Like, because things
that was very, very much you.
Yeah, things cannot change for a while in which they do start to feel permanent, you know? And so you do become comfortable. And also, too, there's also boundaries that are set in place, you know, that sometimes you don't really necessarily see, but they're set in place for
a reason.
Girl, a reason that is for not your benefit, you know, and a reason for that is not your benefit. But when you're so much into things, you know, you don't realize it. And so
it's okay. Everyone is blinded by love.
Oh my God. Everyone is blinded for sure. But I just also think that, like, listen, you know, like, I think always people don't ever listen. There's sometimes, you know, when people say there's a little truth in a rumor, there's old wives' tales for reasons. There's rumors.
I always say that
for a reason.
Like,
you know,
people
like
aren't talking just to talk. Like,
people are not saying things just to say things. Some people say things from experience because it may have taken them a little bit longer to figure it out, but it did eventually happen. And then you got to see why. Like, now I see why my mom was so strong arm on me, always making sure I got my degree. I dropped out of college when I got pregnant with Carolyn because I was 19. I was going to school to be a nurse and pharmacy. That was the 2 things that I was in between. Science was my major. And I dropped out. And
I dropped out of college too. I was like, forget this.
Boy, did I wish I didn't, because I am now currently back enrolled as a full-time student. And I wish I did have that to fall back on. I do now see, like, oh, that's what she meant. You know, like, as like a degree, you can always get a job. I mean, I will say, I think in her era, that was you can always get a job, because in this era now, it's kind of a struggle, even with a degree.
You don't need a degree.
You can have 5 degrees and still not have a good paying job.
Yeah.
You know, so I think it was a little bit different, but I will say that it's still some truth to that. You still should have something, something to have to your name, whether it's a certificate. I had went and got my medical assistant license after I had Kylan. I had something, so even to this day, if I want to go be a medical assistant, I can. I have something, but I think having something bigger would have been better.
Yeah.
Like a degree or a savings account.
It's so funny how when you get older, you're like, I should have listened to my mom. Like,
man,
yeah, you should have.
At 30, you're like, I should have listened to my mom at 30. But, a degree, a savings account, things that I would definitely encourage women to set aside for a rainy day. They may not seem like you may need a rainy day right now, but if
never know.
Wasn't married, I would have fell flat on my face. Thank God. And that is not a lot of women's story. Some women do fall flat on their face because there were not measurements put in place for them to succeed after.
Exactly. But I always say this too, and it's not just like about just getting a divorce. I always say, what if something were to happen to your husband, God forbid he dies, and you have no idea how to run your home, what bills you guys are paying, how are you going to keep it going? I always think about that. Like when I was lashing and I was making all this money, I used to think, oh my God, if something happens to my hands, how am I going to make this money? So that's how I started investing and diversifying my portfolio. So I think just having that what if in the back of your head really prepares you for the moments that are not expected. You know what I mean? We end the episode by dropping a gem. I think you've dropped a lot. We've dropped a lot throughout this episode, but let's drop a gem for anybody going through a situation like yours or anybody just watching this today as a mother, as a business owner. Like, drop a gem for everybody listening.
I have two things. So I would say the first thing is this too shall pass. Always stick with that. That God brings me through everything. Like praying, knowing that this too shall pass, and saving a little bit of 10% for myself. Because when things as a job, school, anything that just no longer serves you, if you have that 10% that is letting you know, like, you can do better, bet on yourself. That gets you a long way.
Yeah.
That gets you the longest way. Having that confidence, that 10% that's like, you got it, girl. And like just kind of like riding out on that and seeing what it can do. Yeah, I just will always tell anybody, save 10% for yourself.
I love that. Yeah. Thank you so much for telling your story today on my podcast and blessing me with your presence. I loved having you.
Thank you for having me.
That's it for this week's episode of Against All Odds. Make sure to tune in to us next week. Against All Odds is a Hyphenate Media Group production in partnership with iHeart's My Cultura Podcast Network. For more of your favorite shows, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.